Have you ever loved someone with everything you had, only to be met with indifference? You gave them your heart, your time, your patience, hoping they'd see your value. But instead of appreciation, you were met with silence, with neglect. And eventually, you reached a breaking point. You realized that you had poured everything into them, but they took you for granted. They couldn't, or wouldn't, see the person you truly were. And so, you chose yourself. You walked away. It was hard, but it was necessary. You gave them the chance to feel your absence, to understand what they had lost. And in that silence, they would feel the weight of what you meant to them. The truth would hit them all at once. They had lost something irreplaceable. They thought they could take you for granted forever, but now, the reality sets in. The heartbreaking reality. As the saying goes, you never know what you've got until it's gone. But for those who take you for granted, the sting of this truth is often realized far too late. It's not just the pain of loss, it's the deeper sorrow that comes when they realize, with devastating clarity, that you were never someone to be replaced. You were a gift, a rarity in a world full of distractions. As philosopher John Lars wisely said, the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from someone you trust. This is the rawest truth you can face. The person who took you for granted was someone you trusted. When you finally chose to step away, they were left with only the echoes of what once was. And in that quiet, they were forced to confront the most painful realization. They lost you, not because you stopped caring, but because they never truly appreciated what they had until it was too late. The power of walking away. At first, they may feel a false sense of freedom. They may think they'll be fine without you. But that sense of freedom quickly turns into isolation. They will ask themselves, who will care for me the way they did? Who will be my anchor when everything else falls apart? They'll try to fill the void with new faces, with distractions, but nothing will compare to what you brought into their life. The pain of your absence will gnaw at them quietly, relentlessly, in the empty hours of the night. They'll come to realize that finding someone like you is not just difficult, it's nearly impossible. But by then, you'll be long gone. The 8 stages of realization. Let's break down the emotional journey they go through once they fully understand they've lost you. These stages are inevitable. It's their journey, not yours. But by understanding these stages, you'll see why walking away was the most empowering thing you could have done. Shock. At first, they can't believe it. They keep checking their phone, expecting a message, a call, something. But there's only silence. It's the sharp realization that they've lost you, and they weren't prepared for it. Denial. They won't accept it. They'll tell themselves, this can't be real. They'll come back. They always do. They try to carry on as if nothing's changed, refusing to face the truth. Anger. When denial crumbles, anger takes its place. They'll lash out, blaming you for leaving, for not trying harder. But remember, this anger isn't about you. It's about their own deep fear of loss. Bargaining. They'll start reaching out with apologies, promises of change, and pleas to start over. They'll try to reignite the connection by dredging up old memories. But these are just empty words, desperate attempts to undo what they can't fix. Loneliness. As the truth sets in, they'll feel a deep loneliness. No one will ever understand them the way you did. Every attempt to move on will feel hollow, because they're searching for you in others, and no one compares. Regret. This is the turning point. They begin to see the depth of their mistake. They replay memories of you, realizing they took you for granted. But regret isn't something they can undo. It's a weight they must carry forever. Desperation. Desperation sets in when they realize their regret is too much to bear. They may send you messages or make grand gestures to try to win you back. But desperation is never the foundation of true change. It's just a reaction to their fear of losing you. Acceptance. Finally, they reach a place of quiet acceptance. The reality sinks in. You're gone for good. And while this acceptance is bitter, it's also necessary. They come to understand that what they lost cannot be replaced. But for you, this is where your strength is fully realized. You didn't waver. You didn't look back. You chose peace, clarity, and your own worth over everything else. The freedom of choosing yourself. In the end, walking away isn't just an end. It's the beginning of a new chapter for you. A chapter where you no longer settle for being someone's second choice or safety net. By choosing yourself, you've opened the door to a life filled with self-respect, peace, and the confidence to move forward. For them, the truth will eventually sink in. they've lost something rare and precious. But for you, this is your victory. This is your liberation. You walked away because you understood your worth. And now, you stand strong, free from the past and ready for the future. Remember, you are not replaceable. And when they realize this, it will be too late. But you? You've already moved on, stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever comes next.